Okay, monkeys in the truck. Give us round 3. Let's see what we've got.
Okay, Mr. Chaos and Mr. Keane, round 3. Topic: was the Attitude Era overrated? Mr. Chaos, you are arguing the side of it was not overrated. Mr. Keane, you are arguing the side of it was overrated. Mr. Keane, you will begin. Your 90-second opening argument starts now.
Of course it was overrated. Of course it was. There was a lot of great guys in the Attitude Era, don't get me wrong. But a lot of those guys in the Attitude Era also came from the new generation and also the previous generation as well, where you had Bret Hart, new generation, Razor Ramon, new generation, Diesel, stuff like that, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, new generation, or even 80s. Yes, they transformed their characters a little bit in the Attitude Era to keep up with the times. However, after the Attitude Era, they even changed again and then kept up with the times in a different aspect. Attitude Era was very hit and miss, very car crash TV. If you like that sort of thing, you'd love it. However, wrestling-wise, it wasn't the greatest. Let's be honest. You'd have some odd 1 or 2 matches here and there, but on a Raw 2-hour, 3-hour show, or even the pay-per-views or SmackDowns, whatever, there would be mostly squash matches, 1 or 2 minute matches, and then segment, squash match, segment, squash match. I don't want to watch that. I want to watch pro wrestling. I want to get in there and get involved. And going with the characters again, I'm not slagging any of the characters off because I love them all myself, and I did like the Attitude Era. I grew up watching it. But when you dissected, a lot of the guys came from beforehand, and they were still relevant afterwards. It was just a different time. It's just overhyped because it's the nostalgia, it's the tinted rose glasses, so to say, that we're looking back on.
Hey, Mr. Keane, your time is up. Mr. Chaos, your 2-minute cross-examination and opening statement starts now.
Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. You're telling me the Attitude Era is not the best era ever. You, my friend, are wrong, and I'm about to tell you why. Your points, you've hardly made any. You've literally said there was a few new generation wrestlers that ended up in the Attitude Era that carried on after that. What era is better than the Attitude Era? Give me a definitive answer on what is better. The fact of the matter is, storylines, for example, let me just drop one out there. Kane, The Undertaker. What a story. What a build-up. What a rivalry. And then they later become the Brothers of Destruction, still within the Attitude Era. Just saying, it doesn't get any better than that when you talk about Kane and The Undertaker's backstory. You talk about the roster. If we dissect the years, we got 97, for example. We talked a little bit about it earlier when we had Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, Owen Hart, the British Bulldog, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Rocky Maivia, who become The Rock, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, who become Triple H. We are talking about Chris Jericho, Guerrero, Benoit, Malenko, tag teams, the Dudley Boys, Hardys, Edge and Christian, the list goes on. We want to talk about women. Let's talk about Sunny and Sable. Sunny being the most downloaded woman on the internet, on America Online in 1996. Sign up to her OnlyFans. We're not putting a link in the page, let me tell you. But if you go to Twitter, I'm sure you'll find it for yourself, brothers. You've got to be crazy if you think more outlandish characters like Goldust. You've got Ho Train Master, the Godfather, porn star Val Venus, the world's most dangerous man, Ken Shamrock. The list goes on and on and on. You could have had protection from the APA, buddy. You could have.
Okay, Mr. Chaos, time is up. Mr. Keane, your cross-examination starts now.
That jingle.
Right. Better era for wrestling-wise is today's wrestling is a lot of a better era right now than it was back then. In regards to Kane and Undertaker, it was booked like it was watching Jerry Springer. It was car crash TV and very difficult to follow. Come on, you've got to be honest. 1 minute they're feuding with one another, they're setting each other on fire. Next thing you know, he's jumping out of a casket and everything's okay. We don't mind. Paul Bearer was another one. They just keep jumping and forwards, backwards and forwards. You mentioned Owen Hart and British Bulldog. Yes, great wrestlers. I'm not going to disrespect those at all. However, more in the 80s when they first started and they were all coming up through the 80s and the new generation in the tag team eras. and everything like that. You mentioned the Radicals, you mentioned Lord Voldemort, you mentioned Edge and Christian, you mentioned Jeff Hardy and the Dudleys and the Hardys. More to the end of the Attitude Era. Really? When would you define the Attitude Era starting? 98, 99, 97? You mentioned Sunny in 96, and technically she's not part of the Attitude Era in your regards. You mentioned a lot of mid-carders.
Mr. Keane, your time is up.
I hate that jingle.
Your time is up, buddy.
Mr. Chaos, your 1 minute cross-examination starts now.
Right, let's get this straight. The Attitude Era, for me, defining it correctly, when was the first time Stone Cold Steve Austin said the word ass on TV? That was King of the Ring 1996. However, Sunny was in the Attitude Era. She managed the Legion of Doom at WrestleMania 14, which was 1998. And god damn did she look good. On top of that, Monday Night Wars, brother. So the Attitude Era for me can be anything from 1995 September, when WCW started going head-to-head with Nitro against Raw, all the way up until the episode just before WrestleMania X7, which is deemed to be one of the best WrestleManias in history. And that all culminated with the very last episode of Monday Night Raw with Vince McMahon and Shane McMahon explaining that Shane was the other person to sign the contract and become joint owners of World Championship Wrestling.
Mr. Chaos, your time is up.
I heard the jingle, monkey. I heard the jingle.
Now follows your closing statement, 90 seconds, starting now.
Me?
Yes, Mr. Chaos.
Okay. Bottom line is, Attitude Era give us so much. And we're not just including WWF or WWE within that period. You have the likes of WCW, you have ECW, all there battling together to create what the product was at the time with the Attitude Era. Monday Night Wars was fantastic. The docu-series on the WWE Network for $9.99 a month. Advertising plug here. Michael Cole, I can do your job, buddy. Here I am. I'm doing it for you. $9.99 a month. Anyway, WWF won. WCW lost. Then our interest shifted. Then the product shifted. And we didn't get what we got after that. We got 96 to 2001, the greatest period in the history of professional wrestling. The Attitude Era. Beat that.
You've got 30 seconds left, Mr. Chaos.
30 seconds left. What do you want me to talk about more, Sonny? Do you know what I mean? Hardcore Championship. How can we forget that? You just mentioned that the wrestling's better today, on TV today. They carry around the joke 24/7 championship that a wrestler doesn't even hold currently. But back then, in the Attitude Era, when Crash Holly was putting his life on the line in airports, in bloody kids' play areas, everywhere, that man defended that belt everywhere.
Mr.
Also
Keane?
Ric Flair. Woo!
Mr. Chaos.
Awesome.
Mr. Keane, your closing statement, 90 seconds, starts now.
Attitude Era was overrated. It was all about moments and all about car crash TV, and it was very difficult to follow. If you missed one episode, then you would be out of the loop. Now, I admit, it means you shouldn't miss an episode. However, today, you can catch up a lot better with all the different media and different streaming. I honestly believe today's era is a lot better, wrestling-wise, and they also do tell the stories as well. And they do hold the belt, right? They wear it over the shoulder or around the waist. It's simple. But I will give you this. Attitude Era was good. But it's not as what it should have been, not what it could have been. It could have been so much more. All we know is we know when it ended. Nobody knows when it starts. So we can't really define it as an era. At least we can define the Ruthless Aggression era. We can define PG era. We can define the 80s and the new generation. We can't really discuss the Attitude Era without knowing its beginnings and its endings. All we know is its end. That's it. Everything else is just filler on what we want it to be, which means it's just rose-tinted glasses looking at nostalgia. I'd rather look on what we've got now and looking forward to the future and what we've got coming. That's me.
And what is the future?
Me kicking your ass if you don't shut up.
Oh, wow. Now we want to get down to it. Now we want to get down to it, Steve King.
Yeah, go on
Okay,
then,
Mr.
I'll
Keane,
say.
please.
Bring the jingle and shut you up. There it
It's a
is.
good job that jingle saved you, buddy.
That concludes discussion concussion.
Doesn't it now? I am so hot after that episode. I must say, Mr. Keane, you have brought out an animal inside of me that I did not know existed when it comes to discussing those topics. I mean, the fact that you just threatened to kick my ass is not going to help your future in FCW, because you know, and I know, just like Hulk Hogan had his boys to back him up, Mr. Rock the Knight has his boys to back him up.
And you're going to screw me over, am you? You're going to screw me over like you screwed Brett?
Don't make us put you on the list. That is all I'm going to say.
Is this your list or Jericho's list?
Oh.
You're going to come up with your own. You're going to come up with your own gimmicks or what?
I'm the man with all the gimmicks, brother. All of them.
Okay, yeah. Nick Austin's for drinking. Right or wrong? You're going to nick Vince's and screw people over all the while. Right or wrong? Do you want to carry on?
You must be mistaken.
You want to carry on? Discussion or do you want to shoot?
You shoot all you want, brother. You shoot all you want. The second you win a match in our company, the second you're right to talk about this guy. I'm the first ever Grand Slam champion, and there's a shoot. Yeah. So when you get back to my level,
I've been a champion myself in the
me.
past. Don't worry about that. I've been champion in the past myself. Don't worry about
That's
that.
fine. That's fine. I've been a champion of other promotions, but we are talking about the FCW universe, and we are talking about future championship wrestling. The second you do anything relevant in that business, then come back to me.
No, okay. I'll see you soon. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Who invited who onto the show?
Hey, I needed a guest, and you were the man to fill that this week.
Yeah. So I must be doing something right.
Don't regret the opportunity that I've just given you. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Don't throw it away. Don't throw your chance away here, buddy. This is the big leagues now. The big leagues. Al Capdino is in the house.
Yeah, it's nice being in the house, and I'm happy to wreck a few tables if I want to.
Okay, I think we'll leave it there, Mr. Keane. I will say thank you for coming on the show, being a part of the first ever discussion concussion. What I will say is next week we'll be back with another guest and another episode of Backstage at the Bagger Dome, whether that be Al Capdino's table or discussion concussion or something completely different. Who knows? We're trying to keep this fresh and updated and give you something to watch during this time of lockdown and COVID-19 period. And hopefully soon enough we'll be all at the Bagger Dome having a drink and seeing off another show. Announcements, just to let you know, our friends at Wolfram Pro Wrestling turned 3 years old yesterday. So congratulations to James Travers at Wolfram Pro Wrestling for 3 years of running that company. They uploaded some match content on their Facebook page that you might want to check out, including a Royal Rumble match from 2017, a women's triple threat match between Natalie Wilde, Shauna Shea and Nightshade in their women's division. You've also got FCW superstar Liam Perrin versus former FCW superstar TJ Sky, and current members of the roster Elliot Jordan versus Colt Miles. So head over to the Wolfram Pro Wrestling Facebook page to check that out. Also, birthdays. What would an episode be a Backstage at the Bagger Dome without wishing some people some very happy birthdays? So former FCW wrestler Kieran Young, happy birthday, I believe. Saturday, Friday, I don't know when this goes out, but happy birthday for when that was. Current superstars Joe Black, happy birthday for this Tuesday. And of course, the master of the mic, the man that has been announcing longer than I can ever remember, Chris Godsize. He puts on a live sing-along show on a Friday night on his Facebook feed, but he turns 40 this time next week, so next Monday. Mr. Godsize, happy birthday to you. You can also check out all of our social media for the latest updates, so Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You'll get the latest news based on Backstage at the Bagger Dome, as well as some match content. Last week we put out our first ever Golden Gimmick Rumble, which was a very interesting watch indeed. If you haven't had time to check it out, check it out. But until then, I'm Al Captino, Steve Keane. Thank you very much again.
Thank you for having me.
Monkeys in the truck, thank you for being part of this. Until next time, we are FCW, and we'll see you backstage at the Bagger Dome soon. Goodbye.